sizing up the Rankins? Flag this at the start. Take us to the work of Isaac.
I reckon in the next 6 to 8 weeks, this guy, Isaac Ranken, will join the elite of the elite, the top guns. There's only a handful of absolute prime superstars in our competition. And if you look at the ratings over the last 6 weeks, there's Dacos, Bontempelli and Rankin. And I think Rankin has enormous scope for growth. He's not a jack of all trades, master of none. He's a master of all trades. There's not a position in the field that he's uncomfortable. If you look at his highlights, and we'll just do a similar thing and go through and have a look at him at his best, all over the field. Doesn't matter if it's a forward 50 stoppage, it doesn't matter if it's centre bounce, and he hasn't been in enough centre bounces for my liking. This would have been a goal had Jordan Dawson known that it was going through or been able to block, but that's the sort of damage he can bring. This is down back when the game needs to be won, into the stoppage and then out. So not all damage is done by foot. It's just his speed and his brilliance. Drop a ball, we know what he can do, but just how quick he gets organised. He's ahead of the game with his speed. So how many times can you get the ball in his hands? That's the key. It's not even wear on the ground anymore. So I look at Izak Heaney and I see this guy, Mark II. So Izak Heaney, we'll get to his numbers in a minute, but there's not a position on the ground where Isaac gets the ball and you think, OK, Swans are likely to score here. This guy's the same. So he goes with the speed and with the poise and the class that others don't have. So I think there's more to this guy. We are just scratching the surface of what he can do. So he's the number 1 rated general forward. He's number 2 in the comp for score involvements behind Marcus Bontempelli. He's the number 1 pressure player in the forward half. So he does everything. This sort of play here. Like, he's changing the game at all times. So scores generated from forward 50 stoppages, only Matt Rowell has done more. So and he's clearly won more stoppage ball. But look at that.
Yeah.
Those sorts of plays, you can't manufacture that. You can't teach this stuff. So how do you evolve this guy and challenge him to go next level? I think there's a responsibility to the coach. And so I want to get to the time on ball of Heaney last year to Heaney this year. Now, this happened not by accident. Nothing happens by accident. But Mills goes down and Parker's injured. And look at what the time midfield to forward ratios for Izak Heaney. He went from 80-20 to 20-80 effectively. So exclusively forward to exclusively mid. He's gone from 79th in the competition rated to number 1 rated. Yep. Isaac Ranken is playing 25% midfield. Can we get that to 60%, 70%? And that, I don't know what his tank's like. I don't care. I don't care what his tank's like. Work around it, put him in there. He's the 8th ranked player in the competition. I think he's a top gun, given the opportunity. So I want to see more than 24. What's he had? 24 centre bounce opportunities in the last 3 weeks. I want to see 15 a week.
He's got to be tagged every week.
You can't stop him. You can't. He's one of the untaggables because of his speed.
He's a joy to watch.
Yeah,
he's an absolute joy.
So I think the responsibility now sits with Matty Nix.
So how to get?
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, how to get the maximum out of him. You guys played with so many footballers. Did you ever play with footballers? You think their brain's working quicker than what my brain is? Not mine, like yours.
Most of them.
Sorry. So you know what I mean? Like, he sees stuff. Do you know he's got speed and stuff? He seems to see stuff that others don't, and they're the really, truly great players.
Shannon Grant and Brent Harvey, but not all of them have speed and class and skill to be able to do it all. So rare talent, you've got to maximise. In 6 or 8 weeks, we'll reevaluate this, and I guarantee he's pushing Nick Dacos for the best player in the comp.
All right, that's lofty. Same game, MCG Saturday. Player at the other end of his career, an old pie with new tricks.
Yeah, it was the move of Still Sidebottom to play. I think it was his first ever career game as a defender, and from what I saw and watching the game back, I really liked it. I think this is going to enhance the Pies' chances of getting another crack at winning a flag, because not only can Sidebottom play this role, what it's done for the midfield. So the last 2 weeks now, and Kingy spoke about Nick Dacos' influence, but him and Crisp have become permanent inside mids, and they look so much more dynamic. So no longer is it Mitchell and Pendlebury and Sidebottom, and everyone's starting to get worried about their leg speed. They've been able to make the adjustment. And the game on the weekend, so his last 70 games, so going back to early 2021, it was his 10th highest rated game. It was his 3rd most kicks in a game, 17 kicks, and you want Steele Sidebottom kicking the footy. And it was his 2nd most intercepts playing across half-back. And when you take a look at some of the efforts in the game, this is the one spot in the field you can get away with having a lack of leg speed, because your footy smarts take you a long way. So watch him right here, keeping his eyes on the kicker. He's got a young half-forward flanker. He gets caught in the muck. He goes, well, I know where the ball's going to go. I'm not going to get hurt there. and he gets an opportunity to win the ball back. I mean, you think about some other players that are doing a really good job in this role. Dyson Heppel has done such a great job going back to half-back. Dane Zorko now for Brisbane playing this role. So here he is quickly readjusting, getting to the back of the contest to either defend or to win the footy. Here he is again defending two players. So he went out to Liam Ryan. He's not going to get the footy. So then he chases and plays on Cripps all the way to the contest and is able to guard a couple of players. So despite the leg speed, if you've got these smarts, it's going to take you a long way. And I think it's going to help the Magpies. As I said, they've got the option like this. Not many players can see this through the traffic to be able to spot a player in space. He's got the footy smarts. We know what he can do, and I'm just thinking this is something we're going to look at, and I think they'll persist with it. I think it works alongside Noble and Markov and these other guys. So here he is again, up around the footy, applying the pressure. As this ball continues, he tracks it like a good footballer. He knows what he's doing here. He gets himself into a defensive position, and if he's not there, look, they're out West Coast, 2 players goal side. There he is in his first game as a defender, wins the footy back and has influence. I'm excited to see what this can do for the Collingwood team. I think it's something they should persist with, and it's going to make their midfield more dynamic. See how it goes.
Yeah, I disagree. I think it's the start of the end for Steel Sidebottom. They're playing West Coast on the at Etihad Stadium.
Yep.
I don't think they're going to trust Sidebottom on the halfback flank of the MCG and the big ones. He's really smart, I know, but he's having his worst year for 12, 13
Yeah, that was
years.
his best game in a while.
West Coast, they smashed them. They're up by 10 goals. We'll see. He's on a big watch.
Yep.
I don't think he's going to survive.
Craig McRae's job, though, is to give him something he can do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So challenge the player to come again.
But he always says we've got to get better. And I thought the kids, and Jared mentioned it, the kids went into the midfield and Chris was going back in and Richard went in. And, you know, I don't know. I think that... I don't know.
You didn't like my Dane Zorko halfback suggestion either earlier in the year.
No. There must I didn't like it. I just had another player. I'm just more worried about Sidebottom than you are.
He's getting towards the end.
That's the idea. Give us stuff to look for. Give us stuff
it.
to watch. Give us
We'll
stuff
watch
to
it.
track.
Stop
So
fighting it.
we will see. We'll see.
We're our first fight in 8 years.
We want to and David King.
That's not a fight. Jerry and I feel uncomfortable. Can you stop, please?
This time tomorrow night, we'll be in the flow of it in Darwin. So Doug Nicholls' round begins for the Suns and the Cats meets in what has become an increasingly important game.
Let him go, Robbo, please.
Get off me.